Hey everyone, welcome back to some more Let's Play Quest of Glory 2. So, wow, what's happened? It's been like another week since I last played. We stopped the water elemental, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and now we're on the very final, I think, 2 days that we're going to be here. I believe Aziza wants to see us tomorrow, as she'll be working some magic to figure out what's behind the darkness in Razir. The Kata are most thankful that you have come to Shapir. Oh, thank you, Shema, very much. Oh, and hello. It is always a pleasure to see you, great hero. Thanks, Shema. You are, of course, most welcome, my hero. For dinner last night, I had knockwurst, stroganoff, and sauerkraut. It was delicious. Making up for the fact that Galvin doesn't apparently like sauerkraut at all. My breakfast is delicious. And my tea... oh my goodness. The tea, as Abdullah has told you many times, is wonderful. Right, alright everyone, so today what are we talking about? Because we have an entire day that's dawning. I gotta figure out what we're going to be doing today. So first, we're going to go ahead and refill our water skins. I think the beggar might be outside today as well. Oh god! Send time for the poor, Effendi? Send time for the poor? Yes, of course. Do we have any... We can give you a diner. There you go. Oh, what a wonder. Is it a dream? Oh, Effendi, there is no end to your goodness. Well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. It is my pleasure to serve you, Effendi. I swear you're all in on the joke. All of you. Right. So we're basically just going to be practicing fighting and what have you today. There's not much else to do. We could work on our Dazzle spell and Force Bolt a little. But at this point in the game, I really just want to fight and get my stats up a little bit more, I think. If it is indeed at all possible. Yeah, I think we're going to do that instead. Mostly because casting those spells will pass by a lot of time, I suppose. It would let us spend some diners. And it's easier to also improve them in the next game. Maybe we will cast spells. We'll just talk about more Dungeons & Dragons and stuff like that in this episode. So let's start by taking some water. Take the water. You fill your water skins with cool, clear water from the fountain. And we'll drink a little bit. Let's go... Oh, do I even need to stop by whatchamacallit's place? I don't think we do. No, I don't think we do. So we can just immediately go... Right, okay. So first things first... Let's visit Ahura, right? Because she had a note for us, if I recall correctly. Let's see what this note says. Looks like you need to get some more practice today. You'll be getting plenty good. This time the note be stuck to the door with an old sword. Tell your friend I will show him where to stick it the next time. Oh, good for you, Aura. You read the crumpled paper with the nearly illegible scrawl and large torn spot. At nightfall tonight, go to the door at the end of Sarif Darb, off Askari Darb. Obey, or you'll regret it. Interesting. And this note also, can we refeeding Simba? Yes. So we'll show off the alley it wants us to go to, and I think we'll go ahead and visit. Oh god, we're stuck. Alright, so obviously we're going to practice versus Aura first. Oh god, good hit, Aura. Oh, low, Tim. Good work, Galvin. Whoa, wow. Yep, so that was a good point as well. I think it was you, Michael Janis, who... Oh, was it Michael Janis? Oh no, Corey. It was Corey who mentioned it. That it's very difficult for me to improve my stats in the game now. I hadn't thought of it very much before, but basically, if I wanted to just attack endlessly, we could, and we could end the battles very quickly, but then we wouldn't have a great deal of dodge or parry. Actually, it doesn't look like it matters anyway. We're taking too many hits from Aura during here, but it does make it difficult to improve your statistics the higher up you go. Hopefully by then, though, your stats are already naturally high. We could work on our throwing endlessly to improve our strength, I suppose. It's just it's so boring to improve your throwing. And it's easier to do it in the next game, which will also improve our strength. Thanks, Aura. How are we looking? Still have plenty of stamina. We only gained primary stats, no secondary there. That's fine, though. Okay, so we have something we're doing then tonight. We don't need to see the dervish, and I don't really need to go out there. I guess we'll just practice our spells and then buy more mana pills. We're going to be rewarded by the poet Omar this time, who brings a purse from the Sultan. It'll be 100 diners as well, so we might as well spend some more on mana pills. Alright, so what are we going to practice today? Dazzle and Calm, I think, is what we'll work on. So first off, there's no reason to put that there. And I could do this off screen, but I'll try to make it interesting and talk about stuff. So I was talking about Dungeons & Dragons before, and I hope you guys don't mind about that and my experience being a Dungeon Master. And I don't have anything written down again, so this is all going to be from the hip. So one thing I always liked when I roleplayed, I don't know if I mentioned it before, is I use music during our role-playing sessions. I've always used music to set the theme for things and so on. And, like, I was a big fan of various video game tracks, even way back when it came to how things were going. I used a lot of the Alone in the Dark series music for certain parts. I would use, like, actually, the Quest for Glory also had a few excellent soundtracks. They're symphonized. Is that how you say it? I think so. Soundtracks were really nice. I had soundtracks from, like, the Star Trek movie I would play, and other video games. There's some other games. Alice, American McGee's Alice was a favorite of mine. I liked using that one as well. In fact, my friends were like, there's nothing good about this soundtrack. This soundtrack means we're fighting lots of evil stuff and so on. And I had this one soundtrack in Quest from Alone in the Dark 2. Maybe it was number 3. Alone in the Dark 3, I think. And they sounded the same up until the middle section, and one then became very aggressive, and the other was not. I would play that whenever they camped for the evening, and then that would set the theme for whether or not their camp was ambushed or something of the sort. Different musics for being in the swamp and ruins and so on. And even when I play board games today, I play different musical soundtracks. Actually, today is fantastic because of all the official soundtracks you can get on YouTube or VidMe or what have you. And all the video game music that I rip from the games and so on, like, or soundtracks I purchase, like Darkest Dungeon and what have you. They're fantastic. They're fantastic. And it really helps players. I think it's helped my players keep the mood of the game, or it helps keep the theme of where they're adventuring by playing creepy music. And then when you're in combat, playing combat music and what have you. I was always a fan of that from video games, and I felt it really helped in the games I played. I also sometimes will play background tunes as well. Like, I was a backer of the Dark Raven soundtracks, which have, like, sounds of wind on a mountain and creaking if you're in a boat and city sounds if you're walking around a town and stuff like that. And those are good too. All my players have really enjoyed it since we started playing. Can't really use that at a game store because it's kind of distracting to everyone else, but I also don't... I never played D&D in the game stores when I played. It was always at my house. Or at my friends, or in college, right? Most time I was in college, back in the dorms or what have you. So, good time. We like that. Other things I like doing, actually I have it here. Looking down to my lower right, because I was digging through my graph paper upstairs because I'm going to be playing a few other games on my channel in the future, and I want my graph paper, was a calendar I had from 1998, I believe, looking down at it over there. And on it, I had the temperatures for every day, the weather effects for every day, holidays written down for the world we were playing in, and did I mention weather effects? And weather effects, depending upon the day. And I had rolled for them and then tried to make it like a realistic area. And of course, it would depend upon where they were, but for the most part, it was I think the word is temperate zone. So it would go through all 4 seasons. There'd be snow in the winter, and it'd be hot in the summer, and et cetera, et cetera. And wow, I can't believe I put that much work into the game way back when. And there'd be slight penalties for my players if it was raining outside, depending upon what they were trying to do, as opposed to being sunny. If it was too hot, they'd be uncomfortable in their armor. That was something I got from Warrior of Wrath 2, The Wild, where I think in that game, if it's the summer months, you wear armor or a coat, and you take 1 point of damage for every hour you travel in it, due to how hot it is out there. And it was a good time. What else have I done for Dungeons & Dragons I really liked? So when I played D&D, I really like having the role-playing aspect come to life in my games. And so, like, if my characters were traveling, my players were traveling from place to place, I'd be like, okay, now you all have to talk in character for 5 minutes while you travel there. Like, force them to roleplay. And at first, everyone was a bit awkward, but because I made my players give me a background story for themselves, they were able to relate a little bit to some of the history of their characters. And as they did adventures together, everyone had their own character's personality with it. And they would look to me to fill in gaps if they weren't sure how something worked. And I would say, well, that's how, like, the elves would do this sort of thing, and so on. And so, by the time, like, we had played, like, our 5th or so episode, everyone really loved it. And something else I had done was that at the end of the adventure, the players would always end up back at a tavern or what have you to rest, recuperate, and recover. And I would have the players tell stories about the adventure they had just been in to each other, in so much that they were also filling the role of all the people in the tavern. And it was great. It would basically be a nice summary of the adventure that they had all been on from all the different characters' points of view. And they'd be laughing at some of the events which happened, and they'd be laughing at the die rolls that had happened that didn't go their way, and so on. And it was a good time. They wanted to do it as well because I had this fame meter, basically, and there were another 4 different adventuring groups who were partaking in the same area that they were. And so I would roll, and they'd all see me roll to see how successful these other groups were in the area, and those groups would gain fame points. And so to gain an extra D4 fame, if the players told their story about the adventure they had been on at one of the taverns or what have you, they gain extra fame for it. And so it was a in-game reason to do it, and the players really liked doing so at the very end of it all. Or some other things I did. I think I mentioned as well that I always gave out notes to the players upon things that their characters would do. So, for example, for every treasure that the characters would find, I'd have a note that would indicate what the one mage in the group, or cleric actually, but with some wizard spells, what he would see whenever he cast Detect Magic, and then he would tell the players what he saw. And I've always liked doing it that way because if I tell the player out loud what he sees, everyone else knows. If I don't tell them that, then it's up to the player to decide how much information he should share. And I can, for example, tell him like he's detecting like an aura of certain magical enchantment to let him know if it's necromancy or what have you, and then he would try to relate that to the players. And same thing when it came to reading other languages, because I had that whole translation table. And so our elf was able to translate elf. Actually, he did it better than I did because he would find some mistakes on the notes. And the same thing for reading human stuff, because the elf couldn't read human, but the other humans could, obviously. And so they'd be able to translate for him. And it was good if sometimes there were some jokes, because they would translate it and say, it totally says this, and it would say something different instead. And the elf would walk in and get himself in trouble to different places. But I like that because it really... I could see that it helped my players relate to their characters and to the world more. It's one thing, like, they felt like it wasn't me, how should I say? There's an expression, but I can't think of what it is at the moment. It's like show, don't tell, or something like that. And they felt more like they were their characters and helped them keep in character when they were explaining what they saw rather than me. And the one elf was a ranger, and so I would indicate to him like what tracks he saw and which direction they would go when I pass him those notes, and then he'd relate to the players what it is. Like okay, I smell smoke coming from this direction, and so on, rather than me tell all the players what was happening. And I really enjoyed it. I think I mentioned how sometimes I would have my players roll dice at the beginning of the adventure, and this really helped because the players would not know when I would consult those numbers. Because sometimes I would have them roll the numbers, and I'd spend like 5 minutes or so while everyone was talking about just doing normal gamer stuff and just talking about things that weren't really related, but having a great time. Half the time you play D&D, it's just you and your friends hanging out. And so I've spent some time like, okay, they rolled this in these orders, so here's where the checks came for diseases or poisons, and this is where I would apply all those checks to, and etc., etc. So I wouldn't have to slow down the game to have them make a die roll to see what was happening at the time. What else did I do? I'm a big fan of rolling behind the game screen. I do not like rolling in front of players all the time because as a DM, I'm very interested in the story, and I want to. The story is so important, and sometimes the game will hate the players or like the players too much. Like they'll be fighting the boss, and the boss is just getting slaughtered. So I'll sneak an extra 10 hit points to the boss just to give it a little bit extra one or two rounds to attack, just to make it a little more thematic. Other times, a group of weak creatures are just rolling lots of 20s and 19s and slaughtering the players, and I'll have them miss here or there. That's not to say that I would always skew it, but I felt it best that, how to describe it, a beneficial version of a roguelike, where it, for example, up on my channel is Pool of Radiance that Chris and I were playing, and Pool of Radiance just hates you to death. It doesn't care about your feelings, doesn't care about your players or your characters. It wants to what you roll and what the adventure had in store for you, which is to say, like, okay, you're fighting off a vampire. We better hope your characters are prepared to fight that vampire. That's what you get. For me, when I was designing my games, I kept in my back of my head who was adventuring where. This way, I wouldn't make it too difficult for them by throwing something that their group was ill-prepared to deal with, for example. And if the rolls go very poorly, I don't want my characters to die based solely on bad die rolls, although I will hurt them if that happens, and they'll have to pay to recover. But still, so I would rather them die due to very bad decisions than just because the die on my side rolled like 15 very high numbers, both for damage and hitting and to hit over and over and over again. I wasn't a big fan of that. All right, Tim, what else can you talk about? So, what else did I alter in my game? All right, let's eat some more mana pills and then work on some more spells really quick. Or not so quick. What time is it? Midday already. All right, it's going by good. Force Bolt. We will work on Force Bolt. Right, so the players at the players I played with during college, we were only in that self-world D&D campaign. I did not take them off to Spelljammer. We didn't play in Dragonlance or anything like that. Very rarely have I ever also used a game module. Ages ago, I was a subscriber to Dungeon Magazine, and I remembered a few of the dungeons and what have you there, which came in very handy to just remember them. There was one in an early issue of Dungeon Magazine called The Ruins of Lotaeri, I think is what it was called. And I had to whip it up in my head as to what happened, because I provided a map along with to the players to explore this swamp. And instead of following the notes on the map and going to where 2 months worth of work was spent, instead they saw a little note off the side about a ruin, and they decided that is where they wanted to go, rather than any of the stuff I had prepared for them. And in case they decided to explore the rest of the stuff afterward, hint, they did not do so, I decided that I was going to have to wing all that adventure. So yeah, I had to do that. Right, but I tended not to ever do the modules. At the time, back when I was playing Dungeon Magazines, probably because I really did not understand at that point that I should be able to change the rules if I didn't like it here or there. I just followed the modules to the letter at the time. So that all changed, of course, later on, but by then I didn't have any of my Dungeon Magazine any longer. I never subscribed to Dragon Magazine, or whatever that other one was called, ages ago. Now that I'm talking about this, I wonder if those magazines are even still around these days. Okay, I think that's good for our spells. We can also sleep for an hour. Okay, let's go ahead and haggle for more mana pills. I'm pretty content with these numbers, honestly, everyone. I am really content with these numbers. All right. Oh, right. I believe this is the alleyway we will need to go to tonight. I've never not gone to the alley. but I know that... I know what happens, obviously, when we go here, and I'm going to be a... Do I want to do it the way I usually do it? Or do I want to show you something special that happens at the very end of the game if you do it the proper way? I think we'll do it the normal way I do it instead. Or we could save the game and show you both ways, I suppose. So, hello, Harrick. Ah, I did not notice you come in. I have heard a rumor that you are taking a caravan to Razir. It would be best if you purchased some extra pills to take with you. Oh, do you know anything about Razir? When the old Emir was overthrown, the apothecary of Razir was taken over by the new Emir. If you plan to go to Razir, it might be wise to take some extra pills, just in case such things are no longer available there. Alright, let's haggle for mana pills. And we'll do this 3 times. Gives me 16. I think we will... Do I want to buy... How many vigor pills do we have left? 7. That's enough. I don't need any of them. Cure poison? 9's plenty of those. I think we can buy some healing pills. We won't need the amount we have currently. But I don't want to have to spend any in... I don't want to spend money on them in the next game, if possible. We're going to lose all the vigor pills, so I'm not interested in them. We could... I might be tempted to haggle for even more mana pills, honestly. We'll probably do that tomorrow. Thanks, Herrick. Okay, we shouldn't need any more water skins either. 3 should be plenty for us when we go to Razir. I can't think of anything else really to do or any place to go. Let's spend some more brass centimes here. Hello, guys. Greetings, hero of Spielberg. Let's buy some lamb. May be much better for it. May it please you well. You try it and find that you like it. It is soon eaten. That will free up 70 centimes. Okay, a heads up, by the way, if you're ever going to play this game. When you go to Razir, I believe you're going to want at least, I want to say it's 30 gold. Although, technically, you don't pay for a room when you're there. You do. In a manner that you don't realize. And if you don't have the money to afford it, the game will end right there. Let's give a centime. What time is it? Midday. All right. Let's sleep for an hour. Welcome, hero. Hello, Shamin. Yes. All right. So some more D&D stuff. Yeah. So rolling behind the screen. I'm a huge fan of that. The players are as well, though there were a few eye rolls at some times when I was like, it hits you and something like that, because they knew that I wasn't getting 2 20s in a row with my one friend Jim's -3 armor class fighter at level 1. But whatever, it's for the story or something like that. What else have I done for it? I tried resurrecting my campaign with a group at work. However, unfortunately, my house was burglarized and my computer stolen. Everything that was on the computer obviously was lost. That include the 8 months worth of work I spent on the new campaign. A shame. A real shame. Thank you. Okay, so I don't need the Saurus. He can stay here. We're basically going to hang out here until sunset. We'll do some fighting and see what we can improve stat-wise. Or we could just take rocks, take them out here and throw them. I don't really need any more than throwing, though. So, and I intend to become a mage later on. Yeah, so the computer being stolen really sucked. A lot of people, when your house is burglarized, you think it's just the stuff that you'll miss. But really what it is, it's the invasion into your home. I mean, I wasn't home invaded, thank God. But it's that the feeling that you're not safe. It stays with you forever. And in addition to that, it's all that stuff I lost, like the pictures that you lost on the computer couldn't be replaced. All that work I had at the time on my campaign was just gone forever. Any save or progress I was making in games I was playing at the time were gone as well. It's just, that sucks. That really sucks. You don't get that time back even though you might get something back if you have home insurance or what have you. Thankfully, what did they also take? They took my computer and my Nintendo Wii. And when the Wii was stolen, I'm a huge fan of the, what was it at the time? What was it called? I mean, I know it's been years. A virtual console? And I had so many games on that. Thankfully, Nintendo did believe that my computer was stolen. I was able to provide them with the police report. And they were good enough to they reassociated my ID with that console, which meant I was able to re-download all of the console games I had purchased at the time. Oh, the music's off. Crap. Okay. Let's put that back up to 10. Oh, 110. Search the body. Okay, well, no more sob stories. You guys don't want to hear that. So, oh, we should save this as part 14. Part 14. Part 15. Part 14. Right, so what else can we talk about for D&D or the like? Oh, right, graph paper. All right, everyone. So I'm making up my mind. Oh, a sign as well. What does the sign say? Ready sign. Read sign. Desert side litter removal cruise. Next 3 dunes. Just seeing that sign makes me a little angry. I'm a huge fan of hiking. I love going up to different parks and what have you and walking around in silence. And I always see debris. Always. There's like bottles and, you know, wrappers from stuff in the middle of the forest. I try to take a few of them out with me as well. Always leave the place cleaner than you left it. Stop attacking me! Actually, no, don't stop attacking me, because I need my defenses up. Nice try, sir. You need a force bolt to kill ya. Search the body again. It's a lot of send times. Okay, we'll give those to the flute player. What time is it? It's 2 in the afternoon. Okay, well, let's do another one. Crap, I was just oh right, graph paper. So I'm thinking that it is time for me to play through Legend of Black Silver, Legend of Grimrock, or Eye of the Beholder. Once I'm done with Deus Ex Human Revolution, and I'm not sure which of them to play through first. I am going to be redoing all of them. Or rather, not even redoing, because I never played Eye of the Beholder on screen. So, I have the Eye of the Beholder series. I never played the third one. What's it? The Ruins of Myth-Drano or something like that? So, we could play that one together. If I do play... Oh, God! If I do play through... whatchamacallit? Grimrock, I'll ask people what they... Swing at me already! Stop making me out! I'll ask people what if they want to be one of the characters there. But Legend of Black Silver is one I've been really itching to play through again. My original video of that was it was when my channel did not have much in the way, like I never gave my my phone number or my name or anything to YouTube for years when I was here. And so on that, when I finally did, I was able to upload longer than 15-minute videos. So, and it seems to be people really like about 30 to 45-minute videos for the games that we're playing. And I would like to redo that. Wow, lots of brigands today. Sucks for you, sir. I'm gonna cast a flame dart on you. We're getting so many send times. Okay, let's cast a zap. And let's now head back to Razir. How's our stats looking? Dodge didn't go up very much, but the rest did. I already know what I'm doing with... Oh! No, I'm not going to give that away. Wait till the very end. Yep, so pulled out all my graph paper, which has all my maps from ages ago there. And not sure which one to play. I don't have maps for Legend of Grimrock. And it's been so long since I played through the first Grimrock, I don't remember it very well. So I'm looking forward to playing through that one again. And I'll probably do what I did last time. And play through the... Actually, let's take some rocks. No, we won't take some rocks. So, we'll play through the first one, then the Master Quest, and then the second game. Sometime for the poor F&D? Yeah, we'll give you another diner. Because I'm about to give all my send times to the flute player. Give diner. Yep, we killed people for those diners. You're welcome. Oh, man. How many of these do we even have? Oh, we have a ton of send times. Alright, let's just give all these away. All of them. And then I think what we'll do after this is we'll just go and rest till the evening. Then we're going to go and do the alleyway thing. And then we'll call the session. We'll play just one entire day. Feels like we've been playing for 20 minutes or so at the moment. Probably been a little longer than that. 90? Let's just keep giving them away. This is going to improve our honor, which doesn't matter for this character in any way. Again, you can become a paladin in this game. And honor matters a lot, a great deal, if you are a paladin, because different ranks of honor will give you different abilities that you'd unlock. None of which happen in this game. The paladin is what you become if you do everything well, and you're that in the next game. How are we looking? 40 left. 28. 200 honor. All right, we are a really honorable person. All those pennies we just dropped off. My goodness. Really, really honorable. Now, killing people doesn't affect your honor whatsoever. Breaking the laws by casting spells in town in the alleyways doesn't matter. But giving pennies to a flute player, that really does. Actually, it's sunset, so we'll stay awake. Let's sit and eat. And then we'll head on out. Wow, tomorrow's the last day of us being in Shapir. Here is lemon chicken with garlic bread and lamb stewed with herbs. Eat it in good health. Thank you, Shema. I even added the bread part in there. You are, of course, most welcome, my hero. Alright, then we'll eat. And I guess we'll head on out, walk the alleys, and make our way over to the place. You have a wonderful meal. There are numerous salads, 2 main courses, fruit, hot mint tea, dessert, and all the bread you could want. You feel stuffed and content. Fortunately, heroes never get belly aches. Alright, let's head on out. Yes, we can give you a send time. And are we looking pretty good? Yeah, that's whatever. Being a programmer now, I mean, I never understood as a kid why your experience went negative. It's just because of what they're using in there. It must be a signed short that they're using for the value. And they didn't handle the rollover correct. Oh, how's our... Do we cast Zap? We cast Zap. Alright. Alright, well, we're going to walk the streets all the way over to the other plaza, and then we will visit the other alleyway. What else can we talk about while we're out here exploring? Right, yeah, so Legend of Black Silver. That's one of the original games I purchased ages ago. It's a Commodore 64 game, similar to Legacy of the Ancients. And if I'm being honest, technically, I like the game better than Legacy of the Ancients, because it's like what Legacy of the Ancients is, but with even more stuff. With that said, however, Legacy of the Ancients is my favorite game because it was the first one I purchased with my own money, but they both tie probably for #1 if I'm thinking about it. I'm looking forward to playing it again. It was really tough. I just have to make a bunch of notes of what to talk about when we play that game. And then, oh, is this where I want to be? Where are you, map? We could take this to make it there, but I think we'll take the other way. Eye of the Beholder is fun, but very difficult. That's along the lines of the Pool of Radiance thing. Eye of the Beholder was another ancient game, but that one was a PC one, to my recollection. It might have been out for the Amiga, too, but I can't remember. Wow, when that game came out, it was right when CDs were coming out. All the games were being moved from 3.5 floppy disks to CDs instead. Wow. And now there's no reason to purchase anything in any medium like that. Instead, you get it through downloading. It's all digital distribution. My goodness. All right, we're gonna walk straight across. So what's next, Tim? Yeah, so Eye of the Beholder is basically Legend of Grimrock in the D&D setting, and it's a dungeon crawl, just like Grimrock and Grimrock 2 were. Back when I played the game originally, though, I didn't realize that I should be attempting to not stand toe-to-toe with the creatures. I think I want to go this... I do. I would stand toe-to-toe and just try to survive against them. Now I know better, and so I'm looking forward to maybe giving that a try and seeing how well we do now that I know I should be moving around. The game's very vicious, though. Level 4, I think, with all the freaking spiders and no way to cure poison. And of course, it's unbalanced because certain things are always worth taking, like create food and water with a cleric. You absolutely must have that. Okay, everyone, here we are. So we're going to do this. I'm going to save the game here. And I'm going to show you this in two ways. The way I'm going to do it and the way I would normally do this. And then the way in which you're supposed to do it. And I'm going to ask you which way you think we should do it. Which will be the result you'd like me to keep. And this also means I won't record another one of these until this is done. So I guess that means we're not... Oh... No, I should make up my mind, because I do need to keep recording the game while I have time. So, I'll show you both ways, I guess. And then, but I'm going to keep the first way, because it would make sense for Galvin how he would handle the situation. So here we go. Enter the darkness. The room is in total darkness as you enter. You can hear some movement around you. Stand where you are. You now face the most important decision of your life. Are you a man, or just a craving coward? Stand and obey, or now run away. Let's cast Dazzle to get some light in here. Your mind is a jumble of half-completed thoughts. Stay. You hear heavy footsteps beside you as something grabs you and starts to take away your equipment. You find you are being dragged by your arms. You find yourself turned around, and something heavy and cold is attached to your arms with a solid clank. You have 10 seconds to retrieve your weapon. Let's break... Actually, can I cast open? No. Break chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, 9, 10. Oof. Keyboard didn't work quite for that, right for that one. We have to get a weapon. You get to sneak past him. Oh, good hit, sir. Good hit. All right, so let's instead cast Flame Dart. Cheat! Cheat! You are grabbed and roughly tossed through the door back into the alley. The Eternal Order of Fighters has no need for cheaters who try to pull dirty tricks in our combat test. You'll never be a real hero. And we have all of our equipment back, I believe. Come on, computer. Why is that not working? Oh, nothing's working. All right, can we leave then? And all of our equipment has been restored as well. So, that is one way to do it. And that is the way I generally do so. It's the way that makes the most sense to me. Now, let's show you guys a different way. Enter the darkness. All right, let's do it. So we've done this before, so we'll stand. Fight. Oh god. You have 10 seconds. Alright, so we break chains. Oh, good low hit there. Trip me up. We basically have to get around him somehow, which is very tricky to do. Oh, we might not actually be able to. It's been so long since I've done it this way. Oh, there we go. Retrieve your equipment and turn to face your adversary. Let's bring it, big guy. We got this. Oh, they see his muscles flex just before he swings at you. Oh, good hit, sir. If you cast any spells here, you will be thrown out as well. The voices call to you. Finish him! Kill him! So we have a choice to not kill him, or kill him. We'll kill him. Now that's a real hero. Show no mercy to losers. Isn't that right, Walid? That's right, boss. Your real sword is in the other room. You have been tested to prove your worthiness to join the Eternal Order of Fighters. You have shown through your obedience, guts, and skill that you should now be one of the highest ranks of EOF. You are now a Brother Scorpion. Welcome to the club. You are shown the secret handshake. You learn the secret password, might is right, and you are given the secret membership token with your name, rank, and serial number engraved upon it. After you pay 5 diners for the membership fees, you are taken to the other room to celebrate. The next morning, you can't remember what the party afterwards was like, and you have no idea when or how you got to bed. You wake with a terrible headache and feel very sick. Somehow, this just isn't your idea of how a hero should be. Welcome, hero. Okay, everyone, so those were the 2 ways to do it. However, we are going to keep the we didn't do it that way. Now, if you kill him, which is what we did there, it's effectively the same thing as being thrown out, only you get the Eternal Order of Fighters membership card, which I don't believe does anything for you. It's just there. If you don't kill him, oh crap. That is one of the things you must do, which is to say not kill him, to become a paladin if you're the fighter. You also get a special little extra at the very end of the game if you did that. But again, it doesn't make sense for me to do that, so we're not doing it. Alright, we're going to sleep until dawn. Welcome, hero. So today we are visiting Aziza. But I think we should stop here, everyone. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.